I think this would also be interesting. The last part of my presentation would focus on introducing you to a strategy that you can use when you start writing a journal article. Okay, so let me introduce Sesa. Hi, Sesa. How are you?
Hi, Raqib. Nice to see you.
As I said, Sesa has already published a number of papers, but the publication I had with Sesa was her first international one. So, Sesa, my question is, how would you compare your experiences of writing for a local journal with writing for an international journal? How did you feel about it? Was it very different? Was it very challenging?
Of course, it's challenging, Raqib. Okay. And by the way, everyone, the objective of my research was to pinpoint any potential deficiency in Indonesian journalism education concerning opportunities for graduates to secure employment. And here, from the beginning of our manuscript, we directly address the reader, explaining the advantages and impact of our research. That's the challenge. And we show how our work could benefit students, benefits educators, and of course, the field of journalism as a whole. And this collaboration marked my debut in working with someone else on a research project. And it was also my first time publishing internationally in Journal Index by Scopus.
So, Sesa, are you saying that the contribution part of the research, what contribution you're making, that was an important thing to highlight when you were writing this paper?
Okay, so I think writing for a local journal is different from writing for a top international journal in a few key ways. First, you need to be very specific. Okay, in international journals, you have to be clearly you have to be really clear about how your research will make a big difference. And right from the start, you need to explain who will benefit from your work and why it matters. While in local journals, you might not have to spell it out as clearly. And then the second point is international journals are read by people from all over the world, you know. So you need to make sure your writing is easy to understand for everyone, no matter where they're from, especially when you need to explain very specific terms in your field, such as in my field, linguistics. And I must ensure that my explanation is understandable for non-linguists. Plus, your research should offer insights that aren't limited to just one place. Meanwhile, the local journals might focus more on issues that are specific to certain area. So I think writing for high-ranked international journal means being super clear about why your research matters, making it easy for everyone to understand, and being ready to really prove your point with solid methods and a lot of thoughts. Raqib.
Thank you very much, Sesa. I think that's a very, very important consideration. As Sesa was saying, when we write for a local journal, we don't have to think about the wider readership beyond our country. So if you're writing for a journal in Vietnam, you can only think about Vietnamese audience, and that's okay. But as Sesa explained, if you're writing for an international journal, you have to assume that the readers would come from all over the world. So there are certain things, not just contextual information, but a lot of things that you need to spell out so that it is appealing to readers who are not familiar with the education systems in your country, with the culture and the history of your country. So that is an important thing that we will also talk about. Thank you very much, Sesa. I have one more question for you. For those who are in the audience that still feel not confident enough about publishing in international journals, even though they may have published in local journals. What advice do you have for them based on your own experiences?
Okay, to be honest, Raqib, starting out on this joint research journey was quite challenging, especially when it came to outlining our work. And because outline is very important to keep us on track, you know that we have a lot of ideas in our mind, right? But we can't write all our ideas just in one paper. And we had to ensure that our outline was detailed enough to meet the standards of international publication, while also ensure that our research would have a significant impact, even though no research is ever perfect, right? And the real challenge, I think, that we address the real challenge is how we can address the current problem in the field that the result in our research could potentially offer solutions. That's the point. And regarding the feedback and changes from editor, when you submit to an international journal, please be ready for a detailed and systematic review process, because the reviewers will give you very detailed feedback, okay, asking you some questions regarding content as well as details like where did you get this reference, for example. He can also ask for original sources or original PDF for your references. So let's say, don't let the content be different from what you convey in the manuscript. Otherwise, you will likely have to make some big difference. Okay, and overall, this whole process taught me a lot. Okay, it showed me the importance of working hard, being patient, and working together. Because, you know, every challenge we face made us stronger. Thanks, Raqib.
Thank you, Sesa. That was wonderful, very, very clear. And hopefully for the audience, it would be inspiring, because if Sesa can do it, you can do it as well. So just a few things to pick up from what Sesa said. One is the importance of preparing an outline before you even start writing. And I will actually talk about that as the special strategy at the end of my presentation. The second thing Sesa said was that nothing is perfect. So you don't need to have, especially in social sciences, something that is 100% perfect and no one will find any fault with it when you write a paper. Thirdly, the peer review process is actually very rigorous. So on one hand, it is scary to think about how detailed the reviewers would be in an international journal. But on the other hand, it is also a good thing, because Sesa and I, we know that such detailed reviews from peer reviewers also mean that it makes you think more deeply into your topic, and then that contributes to improving the quality of your paper. So these are really, really good points from Sesa. So before saying thank you to Sesa once again, the image that you're looking at is a beautiful place called Mount Bromo, which is very close to where Sesa lives in Malang. So here is an invitation to all of you to visit one of the most beautiful cities and places. That's actually a volcanic crater in nearby Malang. And we went there, that's me and Sesa. We went there to watch sunrise last year in June or July, I think it was. And that was part of the program I attended. It was an international conference that Sesa arranged within 10 or 12 days very quickly. So here is an invitation to all of you to